We got some really nice creations in store for you today. So let's dive in and start looking at some really good, well-built, Titan-sized Bionicles. Hopefully this episode can give you inspiration and you can start building your own brilliant Bionicle mocks. Beginning things off with Marendar, and this is by Cyanova32. Okay, this is just awesome. This character is actually a canon Bionicle character, but it's one of those characters where you look them up on the Wikipedia and there's no actual image for the character. From my understanding, they just exist in written word. Which is a shame. I'd love to see official art for so many existing Bionicle characters, but there simply isn't any. And that's what the beauty of LEGO is, baby. Go and build your own version of the character. It's so fun to see what other people have imagined them looking like. And if I'm going to be honest, this is how I visualize the character, this very mock. And I think part of that is because the wiki describes Marendar as a living weapon that was created by the great beings to eliminate Toa. I think they have resistance to elemental attacks and they're incredibly strong. And you look at this mock and I go, yeah, this marries that incredibly well. And if this character is meant to be a living weapon, well, you better believe they're going to have good weaponry too. This shot right here where he's charging up this arm-mounted cannon. Oh, that looks so incredibly cool. And the way that those system curve slopes at the very tip of the cannon are just angled in a nice circle, stunning. Then out of his arm comes this large glowing whip with claws all over it. The curves of that are beautiful. And then in a different image we can see that this whip can snap together and become this kind of chainsaw-like blade. Obviously that's just conceptual, it can't actually do that. But with the power of imagination, you can make really fun weapons like this. I'm obsessed with how that looks. And you could easily recreate that with existing bricks, you just wouldn't have a play feature that allows it to transition like that. But you could build two separate weapons and just swap them out or something. There's solutions to make it possible. Now, looking at this, I'm sure that there must have been some kind of Bayverse Transformers inspiration going on here. Because the aesthetic of Transformers in the Bayverse universe, in those Michael Bay films, really, I think they're a brilliant source of inspiration for Bionicle mocks. The aesthetic of them, it kind of perfectly complements Bionicle pieces and system Lego bricks as well. Like the greeble details on this lower leg design, using some of those silver engine pieces in the middle, all these gears, all these pistons. It just looks so beautiful. And it feels so much like a Bionicle, but also so much like a Transformer at the same time. I also quite like the way that this silver armor piece juts out of the knee. Having a really pronounced knee like that, I think it really makes the silhouette of this character seem so much more menacing. We can also see, by the way, on the hand design, as well as all along the tail and parts of the back, we've got these gunmetal speaker pieces. These originally appeared on the set Breakout Stringer. I like that on the arm this could be some sort of sonic weapon. Perhaps it emits some kind of deafening sound. And then the tail, I see these as just additional armor or, some type of robotic enhancement. Yeah, the way that it juts out, it's just very pleasing. I don't know, this mock is an absolute beast. So impressive. Noodle Mox has an unnamed creation for us today, and I love this so much. Because he uses that Nitroblast headpiece. And I don't know, you don't see people using that on mocks. I see people use it for leg armor, arm decoration, all sorts of body details. But for whatever reason it doesn't get that much love as a mask, and that's where it first appeared. It was the mask of Nitroblast. But like we can see here, it makes for a great face design, and you can customize the color of the eye. It's cool. And yeah, I think it looks really good on this creation from a color perspective. The fact that this is essentially the only red area on this mock, it makes this entire body look a bit more like it's some kind of battle armor or a robotic suit. That's a really nice way to distribute your colors, and makes for a great end result. And dude, the details on this suit are insane. So many greebles, so many Exoforce robot arm pieces, lots of system parts as well. This kind of hyper-detailed look, that's not something that's easy to pull off and have it look this clean. But somehow they've made this look so smooth and so organic. And most importantly, it doesn't look too busy. It's just the right amount of craziness and insane detail. It's like Goldilocks. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. Or I guess it's not too busy, it's not too detailed, it's just right, Now, I also quite like this leg design. See how the sides of the upper leg are using these torso armor pieces? That's a really nice way to just insert that part. It's a good leg design. It's a bit of a bigger leg design. You'd need to use that on a Titan-sized build. It probably wouldn't look good on a standard Toa or Matoran. But I do also like how this neatly hugs that tire on the knee. Very nice and compact. No, I'm Not Kopaka is the name of our next builder. Hilarious. And this one is simply titled Fuyu Toa of Ice. This gigantic shuriken weapon that they're holding, that's so much fun. It's always a pleasure to see really out there weaponry. Stuff that you just don't see all the time. This specifically, it reminds me of the Pokemon Greninja. They're often depicted with a very large water shuriken. And, you know, this looks fairly similar to that. That's interesting, isn't it? Transformers and Pokemon. Two fantastic sources of inspiration for Bionicle mocks. Now, of course, like I said, Greninja's water shuriken is made of water, but this one is more of a snowflake design. It's ice instead of water, which in Bionicle are classified as two different elements, even though technically it's still water, but doesn't matter. But I actually quite like that distinction. I like that you could essentially have the same weapon, but give it to two different elemental power sets of Toa. Now, if you want to build this snowflake design, the very middle is actually a Lego snowflake piece, like the one that you see here on the CMF Elsa minifigure. Then branching off of that are different, like 1x1 cylinder pieces and some of these Chima crystal elements. They come in Chima sets, but I believe you also got one in a Last Jedi set as well. But yeah, a pretty simple but very effective design. And you know, there's plenty more to love about this mock. The brilliant base that they're standing on. We've got some plants, some sand, some rocks. It's gorgeous. And their pants, they've got little accessories on them, like a crystal hanging off of a chain, some pockets, some pouches. Isn't that amazing? You can give your mock a really distinct weapon, some fun accessories, a nice little base below, and suddenly you've got the perfect recipe for a character that's just packed full of personality. Delightful. And then we have Phoenix Furno, and this is built by Asmodai. Look at all the cloth pieces that are being placed here. Dude's got some fancy pants, a stylish cape, and most importantly, a cool red scarf that covers their lower face. You know, I do like a good face scarf. Something about it looks so edgy and so much like a ninja. So yeah, if you're planning on building some kind of roguish character, someone who's a little bit more stealthy, a warrior of the night, well, get some cloth pieces like this and give them a nice little face scarf. And actually on that, it's cool that this mock is using Furno's 3.0 Eagle helmet, because as we can see on the original set, the lower half of this mask is completely open. So covering up that bottom section using cloth, it actually breathes all sorts of new life into this piece. It's dope. Oh, and these weapons. Look at this bow and arrow design. It looks so cool when he's using it in some of these images. Sensational. And it's also nice to see Explode's blade piece returning. The shape of this part, the marbled color of it, it's a good fit for this mock. We've seen a lot of really well-designed characters in this episode. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed your weekly dose of inspiration and, hopefully seeing some impressive Bionicle creations, it's brought a bit of a smile to your face as well. Now, don't forget, take a look at the links in the description below, and there you can see all the different work of the builders that I highlighted today. Head over to their social media, give them a follow, give them a like, and leave a comment on their stuff. Let them know what you think of their wonderful work. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. Love you tons. Happy building, and bye for now.